This is my first time, so that's why I can't wear it. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Sit down. Yep. You're trying to decide where to sit with the baby.
Is Robin?
Robin's not coming. Oh, yeah. She told us, I know you don't need to text. She texted
Fun to get.
I know. We met you at the lake.
Well, actually, what I said was, oh yeah, that's right.
I haven't seen you at church, and you said, well, they're like
No. What it was I said Black Lives Matter is funded by church service. Black Lives Matter is that it's a foreign corporation, and no, I didn't say the churches.
Anyway, I hope you got over it.
Okay, thank you.
hi, good to see you. You know, I've had very short good days with leaving direct today. He was having it when I left, and I did try the garage thing. He's onto that garage door thing now. I did it once, and now he's onto it. I left him in front of a yummy tree.
Morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Swanmore Valley. My name is Rochelle Broom. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. We are a welcoming congregation, united on the side of love and justice. We like to say we don't have to think alike to love alike. We strive to walk through this life with open hearts, open minds, and hope that all who walk this earth with us will find the strength and the will to walk it with best intentions. May the time we spend together in this place make us braver, more compassionate, and wiser than when we woke up this morning. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism, I encourage you to take note of our mission statement, which is printed in the order of service. We also work to promote and practice the 8 principles, which are also printed in the order of service. It's our tradition to welcome first and second time visitors, or maybe those who haven't been here for a while, to stand if you're able and you desire to introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from. I'll start on this side of the sanctuary. In the back, go ahead.
My name's Kelsey. I'm from Asheville.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Here in the front.
Hi, my name's Lauren, and I'm from Elizabeth, Tennessee.
Welcome.
Welcome. Tennessee's in the house. Welcome.
My name is Nancy, from Brooklyn.
Welcome, Nancy.
My name is Stephanie. It's my second time, and it's Desmond's first time.
Welcome, Desmond. Welcome back. Did I miss anybody on this side? How about on this side of the sanctuary? Lots of visitors. Start with who stood up first.
I'm Robbie from Asheville, here for some good music.
Welcome.
And I'm Jen from Nashville, obviously.
Welcome.
Welcome to you both. And here?
I'm Beverly from Black Mountain, and I haven't been here for a while. Welcome back.
Worth, and I'm a friend of Rishi, but I'm here to music today.
Wonderful.
Mary. Likewise, and I came a long time ago and loved every word I heard, every note I heard sung, and I'm excited about hearing their music for the first time.
Wonderful.
And I'm Laura from Black Mountain, and meeting more and more people I've known from other times. Kim, you're up.
I'm Kim from Black Mountain. I have sung here with the inimitable Linda Metzger, and I'm so happy to hear Corey, Rishi, and Michael. Stand up and introduce yourself.
Well, just good morning. It's nice to be with you. Thank you so much. I'm Sherry. I live in Swananoa. I'm a friend of this blessed spirit.
Is there anyone else that we've missed who's not been with us before, or it's been a while?
Hi everybody, my name is Julie. This is my first time here, and thank you so much for welcoming me.
Welcome. It's fabulous. I love having visitors. Welcome to you all. We're exceedingly glad that you're here with us today. If you're interested in learning more about us, or you'd like to receive our newsletter, or find out how you can be more involved in our community, there's white cards in the back of the pews. There's one up in the air there. And if you don't see one there, there's a table in the foyer, there'll be some there. Please fill the card out and either place it in collection plate or leave it on the table in the foyer, and we will get in touch with you. Just a couple of announcements today. There will be no joys and concerns today, so it's not missing from your program. That was purposeful for today. And the second announcement is that there is a potluck today that we will engage in after the services. If everyone would, we're going to have the members of the choir exit the sanctuary first so that they can be first in line, because there is a choir rehearsal afterwards and we need to start it promptly. So thanks very much for indulging that request. It's our practice to acknowledge that the land where we are now gathered has not always been ours to call home. UUCSB acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the ancestral home of the Cherokee and other indigenous people. The Cherokee, through stewardship, understanding, and conversation, survived and thrived in this land. We acknowledge their enduring connection to their homeland. Now please silence or completely power down your cell phones so that our service may begin. I realize that my chimes are probably in the back, so I think we're going to have lots and lots of wonderful chimes and music that will take us into the service. Thank you.
We light this chalice to remind ourselves of our highest aspirations for peace in the hearts of all, for the sharing of our gifts of love and service, for the guiding light of wisdom and faith in our abilities to be co-creators in harmony.
Not working.
Hello, and yes, thank you, Diane. And I'm Anna Linda Metzner, and we're so happy to have the group Chaitanya here today. So it'll be kind of old for some of you, new for some of you. And you have an insert that'll help you with all the chants that we'll be singing. And Koriander and Rishi have been sharing and teaching mantras and devotional song for many years. As singer-songwriter and percussionist, they nurture the co-creation of a sweet space that's harmonizing, healing, and joyful. As the band Chaitanya, Kori and Rishi have offered Kirtan at Chantlanta Sacred Music Festival, Lake Eden Arts Festival, Bhakti Bliss Fest, and at many yoga and spiritual retreat centers in our area and regional cities in the Southeast. Michael Ivey, the bass player, became a follower of the Indian master Avatar Meher Baba in 1972. He's been a guitarist and bass player since he was 9. As a cherished member of our local and regional Baba lovers, he sought out for many Baba-centric events as well as other sacred music presentations. So I hope you enjoy Chaitanya.
Just something that I had forgotten to include in that introduction. You might be wondering what Chaitanya, which is a good way to pronounce it, or Chaitanya, either way, refers to the pervasive divine consciousness which is within all of us, which is within every atom of the manifestation of this world, this life. So, we're going to open with Om Asatoma. This chant, you can see in your insert, the translation is a request to lead us from what is not real, to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality, and it ends with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we can chant this all together. So we're kind of getting into it and see how that goes.
Amritam
twice more. I know we have a lot of wonderful singers here. Feel free to harmonize, please, if you have it in you.
We will now have an inspirational reading. Rishi. Can we turn the sound on from the back?
We need more sound.
Oh, yeah.
That was really nice harmony, by the way, guys. As soon as you started doing harmony, it's like, whoa.
The red light and the long.
Thank you. The reading today is from the Sona Sutta. It is translated from the Pali by Thammasaro Buku, and it refers to the Buddha, which is often in the text here referred to as the Blessed One. The Venerable Sona, a disciple of the Buddha, or the Blessed One, was meditating in seclusion after doing walking meditation until the skin of his soles was split and bleeding. A train of thought arose in his awareness. Of the Blessed One's disciples who have persisted, I am one, but my mind is not released from the fermentations and temptations of this world. Now my family has enough wealth that it will be possible to enjoy wealth and make merit. What if I were to disavow the training, return to the lower life, enjoy wealth and make merit? Then the Blessed One, as soon as he perceived the train of thought in Sona's awareness, appeared in front of Sona and said to him, just now as you were meditating in seclusion, didn't this train of thought appear to your awareness of the Blessed One's disciples who have aroused their persistence and practical application with great determination, appear into your awareness, and you realize that I am one of those, but my mind is not released from the fermentations of this world. What if I were to disavow the training, return to the lower life, enjoy wealth, and make merit? Yes, Lord, said Sona, that's what I was thinking. Now, what do you think, Sona? Said the Blessed One. Before, when you were a house dweller, were you skilled at playing the vina, your stringed instrument? Yes, Lord. And what did you think when the strings of your vina were too taut? Was your vina in tune and playable? No, Lord. And what did you think when the strings of your vina were too loose? Was your vina in tune and playable? No, Lord. And what did you think when the strings of your vina were neither too taut nor too loose, but tuned to be right on pitch? Was your vina in tune and playable? Yes, Lord. In the same way, Sona, over-aroused persistence or too much effort leads to restlessness. Overly slack persistence leads to laziness. Thus you should determine the right pitch for your persistence, attune the pitch of the 5 faculties of your life and your heart to that, and there pick up your theme. Yes, Lord, Sona answered to the Blessed One. Then having given this exhortation of kindness to Sona, the Blessed One disappeared from Sona's sight, although he remained within his mind and heart.
So we have the Tara chant. One tare, 2 tares, 2 days so hot. So you should have that in your answer. And I know some of you are familiar with it, and for some of you it might be your first. In this chant, we are appealing to this form. It's an elemental that's related to the wind, the swift wind that clears away blockages. And we're asking for release from fear, and also the fulfillment of all our wishes, all our desires. But there's a very beautiful reason for that, not just for the sake of, but the fulfillment of everything so that we become unattached, in a sense, you know, just able to receive and give and let go and have and enjoy without getting stuck. So we can, we're going to chant this in the call and response style. So I kind of do Om Tade, 2 Tade, 2 days so hot, and then it will be you, and then we'll go back to me, and we'll get the hang of it this week. And again, please feel free to sing in your beautiful harmonies like you did on that first one. Om Tare Tu, Tare Tu, Re So Ha. Om Tare Tu, Tare Tu, Re So Ha. Om Tare Tu, Tare Tu. Om
meditation is from Lynn Ongard, from her book called Bread and Other Miracles. And you, what of your rushed and useful life? Imagine setting it all down. Papers, plans, appointments, leaving only a note. Gone to the fields to be lovely. Be back when I'm through blooming. So we'll just take a few moments to ground and settle and reflect on that. Just gently, slowly coming back and opening your eyes as you feel ready. It is now time for our offering, and we're going to be singing the Maha Mantra. And if you're saying to yourself, why isn't it on the insert? And what is the Maha Mantra? Those of you who have heard the Hare Krishna mantra, feel free to drop in and just sing with us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. this next song is what in India is known as a pratana, because it's also, they're all prayers in a sense, but this is a prayer called a pratana. And it's, as you can see in the translation, we're saying Mangalam a lot of times. So if you don't catch on with anything else, just say Mangalam. I got that one. Okay? Mangalam means all auspiciousness, all blessings, all auspiciousness and blessings for the earth, bhumi, okay, for udaka, the waters, for agni, the fire, and so on. Vayu is the wind, okay, the sun is surya, chandra, the moon, and so on. So you can follow it through there. For the planet is jagat. We're going to do it this way. I'm going to sing Bhumi Mangalam. And we're going to go Bhumi Mangalam. Right? Udaka Mangalam. Udaka Mangalam. And it's going to go back and forth like that until we get to Sarva Mangalam. And then we all go together. We go Sarva Mangalam, Baba Tu, Baba Tu, Baba Tu. It's a lot of fun, trust me. You'll go home and you'll be like, oh yeah, that was the, we sang that this morning. It was a beautiful prayer.
I wake up.
He means this morning. Right. Bhumi Mangalam, Bhumi Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Vayu Mangalam, Vayu Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Mano Mangalam, Mano Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Bhavatu. Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Bhavatu. Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Bhavatu. And a nice long. Oh, yeah. Bhumi Mangalam, Bhumi Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Vayu Mangalam, Vayu Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Mano Mangalam, Mano Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Bhavatu. Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Bhavatu. Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Bhavatu. Bhumi Mangalam, Bhumi Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Ayu Mangalam, Ayu Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Manav Mangalam, Manav Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, 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 Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, 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 Sarva Mangalam, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Bhavatu.
Sound.
No?
Okay, see how that works. So today's talk is on embracing and sustaining our higher frequencies. Yay! Yay! That's the talk.
You get your offering?
I realized when I started writing this that I probably could make this into the book that, I never even thought about writing. So there's some things that we're not going to be able to cover, but hopefully it'll be a springboard. And yeah. I think the first thing to recognize is that we have an inculcated tendency that we may have inherited through family of origin, from culture and so forth, that when we get into higher frequency, we start stepping it up. We go forward, we're making progress, we're feeling good, and then something inside of us goes, oh, like Marianne Williamson said, who am I to be brilliant? Right? And so we kind of, almost without realizing it, we back it off. We tend to put the damper on and bring it back down a little bit. And we do that in many myriad ways, right? We have a culture that says, even when people are well-meaning, for whatever reasons, they say, don't go for it. They say, go for it, but don't go too fast. Don't go too far, right? Or it's like, walk, yeah, that's cool, but don't run. Certainly, don't fly. Don't fly too high, There's that pull. And so we become accustomed to pulling ourselves back. Some of us have suffered from addictions in life. And when we finally get through that passage,
we have more subtle addictions. You know, I'm still bonded to M&Ms.
Amen, sister.
We find ways to, again, to back it off. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. I think it's of critical importance. I think many of us have realized that we need to stay with others, that's why we're here, that are in a higher frequency. You know, referring back to the Buddha, when the Buddha was asked of the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha are the three treasures, when he was asked, which is the most important? The Buddha said, the Sangha. He said the Sangha. And the reason, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. The reason he said the Sangha was because the Sangha holds the Buddha, the Sangha holds the Dharma, which are the teachings. So to stay in relationship with others who are in the higher frequency is probably the most important thing that we can do. So let's just go through quickly, because I want to talk a little bit more about the being part of it than the doing part of it. What are some of the things? I'm going to mention a few things that are what I call the doings, the do's. The doings to me are like the warp. You know, when we think of a loom where you have the threads, right? The threads by themselves aren't going to hold together. Those of you who are weavers, any weavers here? Yeah? The threads of themselves are not going to hold together. I like this analogy because to me those are the things that we do. They're great, but we need the weft. We need that thread that runs through it all, comes around, and goes over under, because that's what gives resiliency to the fabric of our lives, to the fabric of our frequency. Let's, like I said, go for a moment just to visit some of the things that we do, we may be doing, some of the things that we would like to do more of. So if you resonate with something that I said, you don't have to do this, just holding it in your heart is just fine. But, you know, nod, some of you are nodding, yes, I do this, yes, I'd like to do more. Or you could do what we do online, sparkle fingers. Yeah. Okay, so things that we may choose to do to raise our frequency, or that we are doing. Right here, I'll name it again, being in spiritual community, right? Being in the Sangha, being in the satsang, the good company that we keep in spirit, and mutual care of each other. Community connection in our wider community. Okay? Some of us are serving at Bounty and Soul. Others are engaged with the church right here. Others are out there serving the community as counselors and healing practitioners and so forth, right? So to do that connects us with our interests, our ideologies. So that's important because that's how we stay in that frequency that's ours, the frequency that we want to be supported in that service and community connection. In silence, these are other ones, meditation, prayer. And like we're doing this morning in sacred song and chanting the mantras. How about getting out in nature? Right? Yeah. Even just taking, I often take my chair and I just want to get out away from the house. I have to achieve escape velocity because of the house just says, you've got all this stuff to do. No, you stay back there. I'm going to the French Broad River. I'll just take my chair and plop it down there and bring a book and a little picnic lunch. And it's been a whole afternoon there and I just feel you feel so good. Grounded and expanded, and it's just wonderful. So, having outings,
Mary and Worth were just telling me how much they played when they were in Florida. It was so wonderful, right? I mean, times where we were just goofballs. We just goof around and laugh and just have a lot of fun. So all these things are the doings or the warp of our lives that we do or want to do more of. And of course, staying in good health. So as far as eating, as far as exercising, and so forth. Opportunities to express ourselves is really important because we die inside without that. We need to be who we are. We need to express ourselves as a unique individual that we were born in this life to be. And whether it's an artist or a wonderful cook or a dancer, a writer. I'm going to turn the focus a little bit more towards the left now, because this is of critical importance. Like I said, without this, the fabric doesn't hold together. The beingness, the being. Without this, I say we do the stop, go, high-low frequency cha-cha. And like you're going somewhere, but it just takes forever. And it's very discouraging. It's disheartening. We don't gather any momentum. We can't feel good about what we can't see what we've done because we keep having to start over. And we're human. That's part of the process too. We don't want to berate ourselves for that. But to gather that forward momentum like the turtle. The turtle was real slow. He just kept going. And who won the race? Right? So, in terms of being, beingness is that way. And there are just a few points I'm going to bring forward here. One of the most important of which is to ask your heart what matters most. You say, well, yeah, I know what matters most. I want to get up every morning and meditate, and I want to meditate at night. I want to sit deeply within that. Well, how come those things, for me, that's the thing that tends to get pushed. And I'm like, what's happening? Why is it that the things that seem to matter the most tend to get pushed around? Because they call deepest to our hearts, they call us to be our most brilliant selves, the thing that we really want. And the way to make that happen, and this is what I have started doing, is to actually schedule it in. Schedule it in so that nothing else can come in the way. Schedule time for that. So whatever it is for you, whether it's cooking or wanting to be, play harmonium or some other instrument, like actually schedule that time to paint, 3 days a week. It sounds like sort of a boring suggestion, but it's the one that's going to win. Because when you ask yourself what matters most, it deserves not only to be sitting on top of the list, it deserves to be done. So there should never be a question each day as to whether you're going to do it or not. Try to schedule it for the same time each week. And then you'll drop into that. Yeah.
Koriander, my apologies for breaking in, but in terms of things that need to be done, there are 3 cars parked on the side of the road on 4th Street, and Black Mountain's Finest has come up and said we need to move those cars. So I apologize for breaking in, but I don't want anybody's car to be towed. So if you parked on this road, you are on the roadway, and there are 3 vehicles there. This street right here. On this side street. This side street on this side. There's gotta be somebody in there.
Thank you. Thank you. So another one of these binding fibers is, I didn't even step away from this anyway, because I'm getting an echo back,
Is to be in the proper frequency. And so Rishi read the sutta, the Sona Sutta, where the Buddha said, you know, here was this monk and he was splitting the soles of his feet because he was doing walking meditation too diligently. So to be in the proper frequency, so not too tight and not too loosey-goosey, you know. That one really hit me hard when I read that sutta. Very important to go by respecting your nervous system. You know, we think just because we can, we should, and load up with jamming on things and trying to bring everything into it, you know, as much as we can hold, as much emotions as we can hold, as much stuff as we can get done. And the next thing you know, that's where our nervous system is getting overloaded, and then we seek solace in something else that's not going to serve us that well, because we're using those other things or those other people or those other pastimes to help us accommodate the fact that we're running our nervous system too hard, driving ourselves too hard, too fast. So being in the proper frequencies has a lot to do with this. You know, respecting your nervous system and your capacity for what you can hold. And also going with kindness, you know, going with love, which is the fully embracing of where we're at. You know, get up in the morning, and some mornings it's like you have this heaviness and just like, oh. That's when I say to myself, yeah, it's there, but that's not me. It's just something that's coming up. I don't have to identify with that, you know. And so one of my favorite little affirmations that I heard through self-realization fellowship, I think was one of the monks there, was don't go to your dark cave. And that's when I'll say to myself, don't come to your dark cave, Corey. You don't need to do that right now. So. Also, I think what I call keeping the tap on. Every one of us has different ways that we relate to what is the higher power within ourselves that exists, our truth. You know, we may call it the Divine Mother. We may say it's the source of all. We might say it's all my relations, right? But whatever that is, it's like, it's not over there, and then I'm over here, and then sometimes I'm going to go there and say, you know, call out. It's like, keep the tap on. Keep the tap on. Keep the water running, right? Just keep that flow going. Yeah. Don't disconnect. However you envision that, if it's within yourself, don't disconnect from that power, that flow. And I'll just say a few words about the mantras, because this was one of the ways that we have raised our frequency today. They are, as some of you know this, some of you, you know, might be familiar with some of this information or not. Mantras are a very effective way to heal and recalibrate our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. And they are part of the ancient technology of sound that originated in India. These mantras were not written in an ordinary language. Sanskrit was not used for common speech. It is a prayer language. Because there's a whole science behind how, when we are singing, the the vibrations of these cadences of syllables are actually working on the nervous system. They're actually working on us. We become like the instrument that is played. How interesting. How interesting is that? And it all happens quite joyfully, quite pleasantly. You know, it doesn't involve any painful treatments, you know, or it's fun. It's fun. So that's part of that, just like a really brief overview. The cosmic sound is called the nod, the cosmic vibration. And so again, this vibration goes within us and harmonizes and heals. So we become more of who we are because these blockages are broken, right? These blockages and stuff is let go. We don't even realize it until we turn around a few years later and we go, you know, a few months later, a few weeks later, and we say, wow, that really bothered me, and it doesn't bother me anymore, you know? So the qualities of who we truly are, peaceful, loving, joyful, and unity with life and in a higher consciousness, can all shine through. Something that I think is very important to understand about mantras, and this is something most people don't know, is that there are mantras that are personalized mantras. They are called Sigun mantras. So this is like when you're chanting to, say, Tara, or someone is chanting to Divine Mother, you know, in a form. And for some people that works really, really well because it's like relational. And so that's one way to conceive of it and approach it. There's another whole tradition, which is some of what we've done today, like the Mandalam prayer, where it's not relating to a personification or a deity, but it's relating to what we call nirgun, what's just, you know, in the ethers and so forth. So both of those ways are totally appropriate and good, and it's really just whatever you resonate with. So I think that's about good. Yeah. So just take away something. I mean, each of us are going to take away different things, but here's the part about is the beingness in which we sit with it. Not so much what we're doing, because the doing can fall away quickly if we're not being consistent, if we're not watching our frequency as to how we are approaching things, you know, if we're not being kind to ourselves. So the beingness is the most important part of what we're doing. Okay. On that note, I want to thank my partners in spiritual adventure here today. Before we get to our closing, Rishi for his wonderful percussion. And Michael, Ivey on guitar. And also deep thanks. Even though I don't see Marina Gray here today, I just want to offer a thank you for her because she opened the doorway for us to do this, and also want to offer my deepest thanks to Linda Matzner. Linda has helped us navigate and steered us with your guidance. There isn't a thing that she doesn't think about, and communicates so wonderfully. We just went back and forth, and just everything's just been really supportive and so wonderful. Thank you. And also the other folks who are on the review committee, and Michael, who I hope is having awesome fun today, and also all of you for joining us here this morning. Thank you. So we're just going to close with We're just going to close with a song to the Divine Mother. And in this, we are offering the Divine Femininity, just saying, victory, victory. You know, meaning that the heart wins. The heart wins the victory. The mother is the whole heart, the father's heart too. Because fathers carry mothers and mothers carry fathers. We will carry those energies. Yogananda often said, he said, the father is the wisdom, the mother is the one who just can't resist. So, so that's what I mean by the heart. Yeah, so the heart wins. So when you catch on, just drop in and we'll sing together. Jaya Jagadambe Jaya Jagadambe Jaya Jagadambe Jaya Jagadambe, Mother of the world. Jaya Jagadambe, Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga. Hey,
Thank you.
The final message for all of us today is called A New Song, A New Harmony, and by Jim Gilbert, I believe. By our presence here with one another, hearing the harmony that is music of the spheres, may some of the harshness and discord of our human lives be transmitted into music. A new song in our hearts may there be, and a new harmony in our beings, so that we shall return to our several tasks with fresh courage and with eagerness and with rejoicing. Amen. Hare Krishna. Thank you.